a lot of laudable mentions in that communique. A joint surveillance and monitoring team to coordinate security sort of stands out on its own. But how feasible is this? What would it entail? Will the team be an outside pull or from the security agencies that are already on the ground?
Well, it's very important we acknowledge the viability and the intelligence and the advanced resolution of the Southwest governors to have met and discussed vital issues of insecurity, of food security, of economic integration. And these have been on. This is not the first time the Southwest governors are at the forefront of discussing issues of this nature. But at this point in time, it's more critical because something draws our attention, and that is the invasion by the ISWAP. We know these are terrorists that are already within our domain. We've witnessed the bomb blast before. We've witnessed several attacks. And, this is now the time for all our obas to really see reason and jointly address the issue of insecurity. Because the governors have already put out their intentions to support with technology and also to raise the bar. But it's very important that the federal government must equally draw the line of synergy with the governors, because it will be impossible if there is no FIAC. There must be legal basis to ensure that the integration of security with local security, there is a legal basis that will give that an ample value. And that is why the Yoruba Council Worldwide have suggested to the Mr. President that let Mr. President approve the establishment of a national joint regional security
Oladotun, if I may interject here, and just, query the timeline. We have a security architecture already at the federal level. We also have a local regional body that has some credibility, Amotekun. We also have, local groups. I'm just wondering how this special team will be formed. Would it be outside what is currently existing? Because if that is the case, then how long will this take, considering the urgency of the need?
No. You need to understand some certain things from the governor. There is an already established security network. All they are talking about now is consolidation and building stronger synergy beyond political division. This is a time for the Yoruba people to reason together. Recently, these issues of religious that is coming towards Islamic tendency is trying in most ruthless way to affect some of the peace that we are already enjoying in Southwest. For instance, the issue of the sharia is not part of our culture. But
there was curious.
Legs to it.
There was a curious silence, Oladotun.
The governors are coming together. No. The Oyo State governor addressed that issue. Because, let me tell you, there's no smoke without fire. We in Southwest, we are very vigilant, and we don't take any excesses. ISWAP is a terrorist group. We know their tendencies and how much havoc they've caused in the northern region. Seeing Southwest as their backline now is more dangerous. So for us, the security architecture we are talking about is a synergy of Amotekun, OPC, and every other security apparatus in collaboration.
Don't lose your thoughts. I think you've made your point on that, but I don't want you to lose your train of thought on the conversation around the Sharia panel. Before the meeting, there was talk about, there might be some resolution from these governors as to the establishment of this panel that seemed to get a lot of support from the Islamic Council. So there was a silence, and I wanted you to speak specifically to that. You were talking about it, and then you moved on a bit.
Yes. it is very important that the governors take that information very important, because a lot of our people are expressing fears of Islamization. Because if there's no, there's a difference between when you had an intention to establish Islamic court, to inaugurate Islamic court, as at 7th of January, there was an intention to establish Islamic Sharia court in Oyo town. We stopped it. We raised the red flag that the Yorubas are, the way we are being wired is different. We are not wired to whereby, a mineral community will just be thrown into a blaze as a result of amputation, as a result of the excesses of what Sharia cost in some other regions, whereby
the argument that has been
Christianity will be an issue. It's an insecurity on its own, and we want to draw the governor of Lagos State attention to please readdress that issue.
But you seem to look at the Sharia panel or the request to establish one as something that's totally not acceptable. But then we have Muslims, and the Islamic Council has come up to say that it is for Muslims, and not all Muslims even, for Muslims who are consenting to have their cases adjudicated by these panels.
I want to draw your attention. One of our demands that if they are coming up with this, Sharia law is only governable within 12 northern states. It's not a national law. It is a regional law that is predicated within the penal code of the Islamic environment, which are the northern states. So bringing a penal code system within the civil environment of the southern region is an aberration, legal aberration, constitutional aberration. So if anyone is now tossing our brain, now changing the Islamic court to a panel on its own, it must have been sanctioned by the National Assembly, and that has not been passed by the National Assembly. It is only a statutory body of government that has such right, not an association of Islamic Council. Islamic Council is not a government body. So if any private body is having such notion, we need to be very careful. I have a Muslim background, and I have a lot of family and relations and friends that are Islamic Muslim. But that is not to tackle their religious tenet, but to us to balance the security implication.
All right, I'm afraid
the jihadist invasion of the Oyo people. So in order not to drive away the real point, I want to draw the governors of the southwestern region to be very holistic. If they're coming up with Islamic law or Islamic Sharia, let them give us a Yoruba traditional law that we have already called the Way of Being.
All right, I think I'm trying to gently interject so we can wrap up this conversation, because that's all the time we actually have. Sorry to interject, but we have to go. Thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. God bless.